Ladies and gentle beans, we have gathered here today to make another matcha latte, but before we do that, I'm gonna take this immunity shot, which is potentially very old. Made this before I left for my last trip and I feel like it's not good anymore, but it smells fine. I've been making these recently at home and then taking them whenever I remember, and I think it's helped with all the travel I've been doing. Ooh, that's sour. These are the only kinds of shots that I take these days. Anyway, I thought we could do another what I eat in a day video because you guys really enjoyed the last one. So today we're doing yet another what I eat in a day as a vegan video. And I have been focusing on eating more protein lately in my protein era. I'm not gonna lie, making these videos has helped to keep me more accountable in terms of eating protein because I love carbs and I love noodles and I love bread, all of that. And we are still gonna be eating all that today, but I am also able to kind of get away with eating that way and not seeing many physical consequences. The thing is, it really hinders my muscle growth and stuff like that. And I'm a pretty active person. I actually feel like I've gotten more and more active in the last like 6 months. I don't share it all the time except for maybe on my Instagram stories, but I lift very heavy and I work out almost 7 days a week. So as I get older, especially, I feel like it is important for me to build habits and get my plant protein on. I just sifted and whisked my matcha. If you aren't familiar with how to make matcha, I have separate videos on that, so I'm gonna save you the repetition today, but I wanna do something a little fun. So we're gonna make a raspberry milk matcha latte. I don't know why I felt called to do this, but with spring coming, I'm just like in the mood for more fruity things. I'm gonna take a spoonful of raspberry jam just to start. I don't know how much I'm gonna need. Along with some almond milk. This has been my favorite milk recently, the Califia organic almond milk. Literally only has 3 ingredients, so nobody say anything to me about how unhealthy plant milks are, okay? It's literally water, almonds, and sea salt. I'm not gonna lie though, I am not really one to be afraid of like some of the bad milks. Then we're gonna froth it together, and hopefully we get like a nice pink milk. Oh my God, yummy. Add some ice cubes and top it off with our matcha. I'm coming in close so you guys can see. This is the best part. All right, let's try it. This is really good. I haven't had a decent matcha in a couple days because I was traveling in DC and I really couldn't find a good matcha while I was there. So this is extra delicious. It hits hard. Let's make breakfast because we have about 10-15 minutes before I have to head to Venice for an event. All right, now for breakfast, we're gonna make a super quick toast. I'm actually experimenting and trying this for the first time, but I'm gonna share one of my protein hacks with you because starting your day with a high protein breakfast has been shown to be beneficial for women's hormones. And I personally feel like it helps to start my day right because it knocks out a certain amount of protein so I can worry a little bit less throughout the day, if that makes sense. Basically, it's a riff off of one of my recipes for spicy tofu crispy rice. And then I'm gonna put that on toast because it's really delicious. And that's all I have right now in terms of like a carb base. I explained it in my last video, but I really like sourdough if I'm gonna eat bread because it is fermented. So it's a little bit easier because a lot of the gluten is digested and broken down by the fermentation process. So it's kind of like a lower gluten bread. And this is the key ingredient and the secret to this dish and most high protein tofu dishes. And that is high protein tofu. It's literally called that. And on the spectrum of tofus from like silken to this is like at the highest protein, firmest texture level. Silken tofu is very soft because it has a higher water content. So the further up you go, the higher protein you go and the less water. So this, compared to even an extra firm tofu, which I'm sure you guys have seen, is even more dense and firm. And because it's condensed, it's higher in protein. So for each serving, for example, this block is 5 servings. And for each serving, it's 14 grams of protein. So it's a lot higher compared to if you have 1 serving of silken tofu. I like to use about like 1 or 2 servings sometimes, so that's easily almost 30 grams of protein in just the tofu alone. But since I'm not usually a breakfast before workout girl, we're gonna go maybe like 1.5 servings. And the beautiful thing is too, because it is firmer and naturally doesn't contain as much water, you don't really need to press it unless you really feel inclined. I'm actually going to a workout event after this and it's a little later in the day, it's at like 11, which is kind of late in the morning for me. So even though I usually prefer to eat after I work out, I feel like I kind of have to eat something because if not, it's a little too late to be going about the day without anything in my body. So tofu in a bowl, and I need to get my vegan mayo. I got this in Japan last year, and it's really good. I think it's soybean based. Then a little bit of gochujang, which if you haven't tried it, is a Korean fermented red pepper paste. It's salty and a little bit sweet, so it's kind of pre-seasoned in that way. And then just a couple other ingredients. I'll leave the recipe link in the description box of the video so you can find it because I'm kind of doing like a random riff version from memory. And then all you do is just like smash the tofu up with a fork. so it becomes a nice, kind of like a tuna salad texture in a way. It's like what you would imagine on top of a spicy tuna crispy rice. So we've got our sourdough, and then to assemble, we're just adding our mashed tofu. Normally I'd eat this with avocado over rice, but I don't have avocado right now, so we're just gonna top it off with some scallions to make it nice. And that's kind of it. It's very simple, not the most beautiful or sexy toast, but it's got lots of protein and it's so good. Let's get this toast in before I have to run. I wish I had avocado for this. I will say, I usually eat this spicy tofu situation with rice, cucumbers, seaweed, but this is also a great toast topper. I just love it because it's a no-cook recipe. It takes like 2 seconds to make. Breakfast is in. We gotta go like 10 minutes ago. And then I'll just bring you guys with me for the workout.
Wait. Since we're on the west side, I stopped at this sandwich place called B&T Deli. It's all vegan. And I got this gluten-free bread with their vegan cheese spread, marinated eggplant, marinated zucchini, lettuce, and tomatoes. Look who showed up.
Oh my gosh, is this the vlog? Oh my gosh, I always look forward to these vlogs. I do.
It's been a day and we're home now. I just want to say the lunch that I had was so good. B&T's Deli, delicious. It wasn't very protein heavy in an obvious way, but one thing that I did want to point out is that almost all foods have some amount of protein, even vegetables, and I feel like that's something we overlook sometimes. Like when someone says protein, the first thing that comes to mind is probably chicken, soy, beef, tofu, but actually most foods, including bread even, has protein in it. The only thing that's tricky is, and I know I shared this in my last video, that with gluten-free products, they tend to be a little bit lower in protein because gluten is a protein. So I did get gluten-free bread on my sandwich, but I loved that spot because instead of like vegan protein alternatives, vegan hams and stuff like that, they had all veggies. So it was like marinated eggplant and marinated zucchini, and it was so good. I'm a big fan of like vegetable-based foods over the processed fake meats, which I do eat from time to time, but if I'm gonna pay for it, I kind of feel like I can make the processed meat stuff at home. And I appreciate paying for vegetables that have been like treated overnight and just like flavored up, you know, because not everybody can do that. I feel really silly because I just realized my mic died, so we're just using the camera mic. Let me know if you guys can actually detect a difference in the way that it sounds, because I think it sounds so much better when I have the actual mic on, but obviously when I'm out and about, I don't really wear a mic, and I feel like it sounds okay. It's just something about the acoustics in my kitchen that are pretty terrible. I feel like all you can hear is the refrigerator hum, and it drives me crazy. So let me know if you notice a difference at all. The long story short of what I was saying was just that I feel so tremendously grateful for all the support on the cookbook. Like, I truly can't believe it. It's a dream come true. Like, if you would have told me years ago that I would one day write a cookbook, I wouldn't believe you, because at the time I had almost no interest in food. You know, I came from a place where I was very afraid of food and had a very messed up relationship with food and my body and eating. And it wasn't until I healed that I actually started to learn how to cook for myself and how to get creative with food. And obviously that's what inspired my love for cooking now, and the whole reason why I have an Instagram and a blog and all this stuff. Like, I wouldn't have had it had that not happened to me. And it's just been so integral to my healing of my relationship with my body and all that. So it's absolutely insane and incredible. I actually told one of the therapists that I used to work with on my eating disorder stuff about the cookbook, just to be like, can you believe this? It's crazy, right? And yeah, I've just been feeling a lot of emotions around the book. So thank you, genuinely. And even if you haven't gotten a cookbook, the fact that you're watching this video, that you've tried recipes that I've posted, is so tremendously impactful to my life. Like, obviously I wouldn't be able to
write a freaking cookbook if I didn't have this platform that you guys have afforded me. So I don't want to start crying, but I'm just very grateful. And I've been in my feels so much recently. Like, life's just been insane recently. I'm gonna finish this pad thai, and then I do want to show you this dessert I've been obsessed with recently. It's very basic. It's like frozen mashed raspberries covered in chocolate, but I'm gonna prep a new batch because I already ate through the batch I made earlier this week. And then I can show you how to make it. Also, I love this daring chicken. It's so good. My favorite vegan chicken. And you can find it at like Whole Foods and Walmart. It's so good.
For this sweet treat, I like to actually use frozen raspberries because it's more cost effective, and it's a little silly because we're gonna melt them and then freeze them again. But it saves you money, and you can get berries year round no matter the season. Frozen fruit is so slept on because they pick the fruit when it's at its ripest and then flash freeze it. So don't sleep on frozen fruit. It also doesn't go bad. I'm just gonna smush it down to kind of make like a puree, parchment paper lined sheet tray. And we're basically gonna spoon blobs of this raspberry mixture onto the sheet tray. If your mixture is looking a little too liquidy, because juices come out of the berries, you can also add chia seeds. This step is optional, but I personally love it because it makes it taste like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And it's just to add a little dollop of creamy peanut butter onto each jelly pile. I've made it without the nut butter and it's just as delicious. So if you don't like nuts or you're allergic, leave it out, or you could also substitute for like sunflower seed butter. And this isn't really like a recipe. Obviously there are no real measurements here. Just measure with your heart. So we're just about done. We're gonna throw these in the freezer until they get solid. So ideally a couple hours. This is for my last batch, but this is what it looks like when you're done. It's basically just like a chocolate coated bite. And I made this one without the peanut butter, but now I'm glad I have that batch ready in the freezer because I've been eating through these like crazy. And they're delicious. They're honestly the best little sweet treat. That's about it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, you guys know every single what I eat in a day video is so different because every day food looks different depending on my activity level, my mood, a variety of factors. So please take from this just recipe inspiration, if anything. And let me know if you guys like the series. I kind of want to start a new series on my Instagram called 30 over 30. Wait, called 30 under 30. Like the Forbes 30 under 30 list, but it's 30 oh my God. It's recipes with 30 grams of plant protein in under 30 minutes. The only thing is I don't know how to also post that on YouTube because I'll probably shoot it vertically. But I can keep doing recipe videos like this or what I eat in a day videos. Just let me know. Trying to be more consistent with my long form videos, and I think I've been doing it a little better now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in another video soon. Don't forget all the recipe links down below. Bye.